Hello, hello, my friend, and welcome to this Tuesday's live chat. We are going to talk about a superpower that we all have with our animals that most likely you're not even aware of that you have. Well, how many of us ever even consider we have superpowers, let alone and especially with our animals? So, hi there, I'm Dr. Andy, and we're going to have a little live chat today. Hi Neely, hi Kim, thanks for coming and dropping in on the live today. We are talking about superpowers. And this morning, kind of got the sense of, or the hit of, or whatever you'd like to call the universe talking to me. We're going to have a Summer of Superpowers. So, all of our live chats, maybe not all of them, are going to identify, acknowledge, and really get a feel for what our superpowers are with our animals. And we're gonna unpack it. So today, the superpower today, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. That's it, Dr. Andy. That's it. That's all you got. Oh yes, very, very powerful. Or not. We don't have to make it that significant, really. But it is a tool that we could play with. Hello, Allison. Oh my goodness, it's been forever. Hello, Aunt Maxine from Chicago. Oh, so excited people are joining me today. Talking about superpowers. Okay, so you may or may not be aware that Dr. Andy's World, the radio show or the podcast, it's a hybrid. It's a really cool hybrid, any which way. Last week was, what if, I wrote it down, what if nothing is right and nothing is wrong? I picked it on the energy. I went through all the shows for the off season and asked which ones would contribute the most. Hello, Karina. Mwah. And it popped, so it got on the list. I didn't know actually what it was about, besides what nothing's right and nothing's wrong. And it was all about interesting point of view. So I went ahead and listened to myself. I listened to the whole show. I almost turned it off about 20 different times. I especially almost turned it off at the end. I'm like, ugh, what else could I say? It can't be that interesting. And if you haven't re-listened to that replay, wait till that last segment. Blew my mind. And I said it so many months ago. It was recorded in August 2019, so it's not that old of a show. And it might even be, I can't really even say might even. It might even be, we'll just go with it, more pertinent and relevant today than it was in August. So it was really cool. And so I'm scrolling through Facebook, right, as one does. I came across a post by my dear friend and co-creator of Access Consciousness, Dr. Dane here. And the post was, I'm going to paraphrase, interesting point of view. I have that point of view is your superpower to trump all superpower. And I was like, oh. So first I listened to the show, right? And I'm like, interesting point of view. All right, cool. What if we had more interesting point of view going on this planet right now? And then that post comes up. I'm like, oh my goodness, what if interesting point of view is our superpower with our animals? Okay, what do you mean, Dr. Andy? Okay, let's take 4th of July for an example. How many of you had a fabulous, wonderful, relaxing week with your animals? Raise your hand down below, right? If you lived in the city, the report back to me was it wasn't relaxing. It sucked. No one was calm. My animals were so worked up. I was so worked up. Okay. Where I live, we don't have a lot of fireworks, and I am so grateful for that. And what if you were more interesting point of view? I have this point of view about fireworks all week long. And granted, Probably the last couple months in some places, I've heard fireworks have been very popular in the cities these days. I live a little bit out of the city, so I'm a little out of touch, which I prefer. But interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And what if that dissipates the energy? It dissipates the significance, and it allows for that relaxation of your molecules and your animal's molecules. And what if it could be that easy? So in that replay last Friday, there was a story I told about when my husband was in the hospital. Yeah. Hi, Christine. Yeah, she says it's been almost every night here since quarantine. Yeah, that's kind of the reports. So what would it take for you to be more interesting point of view? I have that point of view about the fireworks. And just breathe. Yeah, so Neely says, but her doggies don't really care that much. So what energy is Neely being that her animals don't care that much? And we're going to get into that in just a second. So how awesome is that? Thank you, Neely. But when my husband was in the hospital, you know, when you go into the hospital, everybody loves going into the hospital. It's always so easy, right? There's no really right points of view or wrong point of view. Everybody wants to get everybody's point of view and opinion and really make you comfortable. And I'm kidding about that. It's a very difficult place to go into. And what if that's actually why most people don't like the hospital? And we're going to get back to the fireworks, don't you worry. So when I was there visiting, or I was there picking him up, my mantra was in my head as I walked the halls, or when he was sleeping, or when I was sitting there, or I was eating in the cafeteria, was interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, they have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view about their point of view. Interesting point of view. And it kept me sane. It kept me being me, and it kept me out of the, I'm going to use the word hysteria that hospitals like to elevate you to, because there's so much energy and so much rightness and so much significance around it. Similar to fireworks, right? So how many times did you see posts on Facebook? I hate the fireworks scare the animals, the fireworks do this, the fireworks do this, the fireworks do this. But what if all of that resistance and reaction actually holds it in place? And all of us with our doggies align and agree on how correct we are that there should be no more fireworks, which also holds it in place. What if, and this is contrary to this entire reality, that values right and wrong and fight to be correct, right? Fight for the rightness, right? That's what we do here. And what if everything's the opposite of what it appears to be? And what if being interesting point of view, I have that point of view, dissipates the energy and allows for space and change? Just what if? And my challenge, it's not really a challenge, or my question to you, it's one of my favorite questions, what do you got to lose? All of your rightness about how much fireworks bother your dogs and how much wrongness it is to shoot off fireworks every year, and this year longer than most. How's that been working for you? What has changed? So what if you changed? What if you chose a different point of view? Interesting point of view, I have this point of view about fireworks. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view about my neighbors. Interesting point of view, my neighbors have this point of view about fireworks, and I have a point of view about them. And you can play with that as much as you'd like. You can keep it as simple as you'd like. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view about fireworks. Interesting point of view, I have a point of view about my animal's behavior with fireworks. There's a little more energy on that one. You might want to run that one. And you just do it over and over, kind of like a mantra in your head, but you just do it over and over, and it keeps the crazy of all that alignment and agreement, or that resistance and reaction, to a minimum. And what if that little crack in the door allows so much change with your animals. Right? And again, Christine also put down, luckily my dogs don't really care. So what energy are you being? What energy is Neely being that their dogs don't really care? Because our animals, our dogs in particular, I don't know if I've never had a cat react to fireworks, so I don't know. If you do, pop it in here. I'd love to hear about it. But we're talking about the dogs. What energy are certain people being that their animals are like, they're going off, right? And what if that can and does trump everything? Because our dogs, our animals are so psychic, right? They know what's going on up here. So what if the madder you get, the more worked up you get, the more mad and worked up they get. The more you are ticked off about it, the more they get worked up. And the more you are interesting point of view, the more they can relax into it because you're relaxed in your head, in this mind. That's sometimes a fun place for the animals to hang out, huh? And how much are you picking up on everybody else's either love or hate of the fireworks? And so you're also picking that up and feeding into that. So what if one of our many superpowers we're going to go over this summer is interesting point of view? I have this point of view. Okay, so Ashley did say our kitties don't like the fireworks, but their response isn't as extreme as dogs. I've actually not lived with a kitty that's even noticed. But. So Christy asked, what if I have one that hides and one that doesn't care? What if? She's going to be mad at me. So what? We love to find places where we can make things significant. So the one that hides, one of the great questions, because you know I love my questions. Questions create. Questions create. They move the energy along. Questions create. That might be a whole separate superpower. Ask the one that hide to duplicate the energy of the one that doesn't hide. What if you duplicate so-and-so's energy when the fireworks are going off? You ask, and then, interesting point of view, I had that point of view that that's a really stupid question. Interesting point of view, I had this point of view that that's not going to work. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view that I just asked my dog to do that. So clear out all of your points of view while you're at it. Super duper simple. So simple and easy that most people don't do it. Most people discount it utterly. And what if that is the superpower? I actually just got back from taking Riggy to see Dr. Judy Jasek, who's been on Dr. Andy's World a handful of times at this point over the years. And he was getting his own zone. He goes every couple weeks. And we were talking about the fireworks. I'm like, how are all your clients? She's like, oh, everyone was so worked up. And she had quite a bit of fireworks in her neighborhood. She's like, and her dogs are, And we talked about this. I'm like, well, what if, and we're having this conversation. I'm like, what if people don't get so worked up about it? So much resistance and reaction, so much alignment and agreement. What if their animals would be less worked up? And what if it's easier for everyone? Because in this 10 seconds, I hate to tell you folks, getting people to not shoot off fireworks is not going to happen. We can always ask, what would it take? And truth, is that actually going to change in the next 10 seconds? So what if the change comes from the individuals choosing to be interesting point of view? I have this point of view. And this does not just apply to fireworks. It can be anything with your animals. Anything with your animals. Going to the vet. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view about going to the vet. Interesting point of view. My vet has this point of view about my animal that I have a point of view about. You can play with it, but going to the vet. And this does not does not take the place of vet care or training or other tools. But what if this is the superpower that you throw into your dog training sessions. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view that my animal is too stupid to learn how to sit. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. My dog is too anxious to pay attention in class. Interesting point of view that I have the point of view that I'm too anxious to pay attention in class. Don't forget to include yourself in that. All the points of view about you, other people, your family, your animals. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Play with it. Play with it, play with it, play with it, and see what shifts and change. Because I ask again, what do you have to lose? Nothing changes? Okay. Everything changes? Rock on. But you have to play with it. You have to do it. You have to use it. You have to choose it to see what changes. Okay. Let's see. It stops scrolling, and then it does scroll, and then... Okay, I think we're good. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, hi Chrissy, hi Ashley. If I missed you, thank you so much for being here. So grateful. Oh, grateful. Love grateful. Because you could. I might just double dog dare you to take it to even the next level beyond. Thank you, Christine. I know, I put it up. It's hot out there. Thank you, Christine. I don't wear it up very often, so. Grateful. I could ask you. You could ask yourself to take it to one more level. It's not really a level, but you know. Not only can you be interesting point of view, what if you were grateful for the fireworks? Grateful for the visits to the vet. Grateful for the dog that's dog aggressive. What if you got grateful by simply going, what am I grateful here that I am unaware of that I am grateful for? How can I be grateful here? What would it take for me to be grateful about this? Actually, you got 2 superpowers. We might revisit grateful. You know, and we've all heard this, right? We've heard grateful journals, or, you know, Oprah brought up grateful how many years ago? Hi, Karina. Right? Like, Oprah brought it up. But how many of you are truly grateful for the stuff this reality tells you should not be grateful for? Riggy, the Doberman, went through, I guess we're going into this. This is, you know, following the energy. How cool is that? He went in for a foreign body removal 3 weeks ago. My very first foreign body removal surgery out of all the dogs and cats and everything I've had. So I was grateful this is the first one. And, you know, what would it take to never do this again? It was a corn cob. It's a long story. Everything worked out great. He's fine. But I surprised the crap out of me. Because I was like, and what would it take to be grateful even before that, after? But after we knew he was going to be okay, and after the surgery was over and all that, I was like, oh, this was so cool. I was so grateful for him for going through this. So now I have this experience, anecdotal, but I had this experience that then I have another new conversation to have with people on what that's like. I was grateful to see what they did about it. I was grateful to experience this new emergency vet. I was grateful, and it blew my mind how I went to being grateful instead of how could this happen to me? How could this happen? What the hell? And what if that's a muscle we just build? And what other changes show up in your life and living when you be interesting point of view? I have this point of view about anything and everything. Every thought, feeling, emotion about anything, your animals and beyond. And then, what if you just be grateful every single day? Okay, I think that's it. Let's see. I think I got everybody, I hope. At least everyone Facebook's showing me. So, we do this on Tuesday, 4 or 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want reminders for the future ones, so you don't have to like mark it in your books and all that, and just type in remind at the bottom. And if you've done it before, I don't think you have to keep redoing it. We have new technology we are playing with, so I don't always have all the right answers right up top. So if you would like the reminders, hit remind down there, and hopefully you'll be getting them soon. We are playing with bots and the Spot bot. You're going to be introduced to Spot bot here, and he's going to help us out with getting you here to these lives. So hi Katie, hi Grace. So we can play some more. Okay, and Fridays we are on the off season of Dr. Andy's World, but this replay is from 2014, so it's 6 years old, and it's Does Your Animal Have Your Number? So I am going to go back and listen to it. I am so curious to listen to myself 6 years ago. I have no idea what's in the show. I do not remember. I rarely actually ever remember what's in the shows. And what superpower is going to come out of this show. And that's what we'll talk about next Tuesday. Because we're going to have a Summer of Superpowers. All these tools that you can just start playing with your animals and in your life and in your living, if you happen to be looking for change. If you might just have a damn good time. Okay, my friend. Okay, my friends. Thank you. That's all I got for today. I think we've come and done what we needed to do. How's it get even better than that? I will see you next Tuesday. Or not, if not sooner or later. But until we meet, how much fun can you have with your animals? Bye-bye.